G'day everyone, welcome back to Comics with Callaway. We're going to do a review here of an old AQUAMAN comic I got from 1985. It's issue 1 of a 4-part mini-series written by... Story by Neil Posner, art by Craig Hamilton, ink Steve Montano, Bob Lappin, letters, Joe Orlando, colours. Edits by Posner and Giordano. So let's get into it. This is fun. I like reading old stuff. Now that the industry sort of, where it is today, started getting on old back issues, and now I'm starting to go through my long boxes and short boxes, and I'll do reviews of old books, the old classic stuff. So this story, it starts off it gives you a backstory about these two brothers back in ancient times, in magical times and stuff. These two brothers were destined to fight each other all the time. So it's the way I read it and interpreted it was kind of like modern day, but you got Arthur and Ocean Master brothers that are just been enemies for so long. And it starts off. We get in New Venice in Florida. I think it's in Florida. New Venice, Florida, yeah. So Orm is destroying a city, town, and Mera and Arthur, AQUAMAN, are there to try and save it and stop him. So it starts off, AQUAMAN, he starts fighting with Ocean Master, and he sort of gets his... he gets sidetracked and so focused on fighting Orm, Ocean Master, that he's forgotten why him and Mera were there in the first place. They're there to save the people and save the city. And while Mera's trying to save the people and save the town with with what she can do with water and all that sort of stuff, she's screaming at Arthur because he's sort of forgotten why he's there, and he's got there and seen Ocean Master. And he's sort of, the vendetta and hate between them takes over, and they just start fighting, and then Arthur forgets about the town. So they're fighting, and Arthur can't work out, something's happened, and Orm has become really strong and powerful, and Arthur can't work out where these sudden powers and stuff have come from. And the end of the book, I think, sort of sets it up a little bit. So they get into a fight, and Mera's like, he's like, who's responsible for this carnage? My home destroyed. Never mind that, Arthur, we must save our friends. So they're trying to save everybody, and then Ocean Master comes in. He's like, you should thank the Ocean Master for getting rid of this disgusting slum that you live in. Orm, how could you do this? You've pointlessly demolished my home and endangered my community, you maniac. And so they fight, and then he's like, well, what's all this? And then he's like, Daddy dear actually taught you to do something nasty. And why do you destroy what is mine, jeopardize innocence? You're smart, you can figure it out. Are you trying again to prove yourself that we're equals? You can't get it through your head that we're not. We never will be. And that's no reflection on you. An accident of birth left me with special powers rather than you. You pathetic lunatic. So that's Arthur speaking to Ocean Master. And this is the scene where Mera, she's using her, the telekinesis on the water, and she's trying to yell out to AQUAMAN, husband, never mind Orm, my power to solidify water can save many of our friends, but the city is collapsing around us. We need your help too. And she's like, Arthur. And then it's, Arthur, do you hear me? And then we got Orm speaking again. An accident of birth made you superior, eh? In that case, if I can beat you, it'll be a double victory, won't it, Artie? Not only will I be better, but it'll be made it so. Not because I was born lucky. And so they're fighting, and all of a sudden, they keep fighting, and then all of a sudden, Orm just disappears. Orm just vanishes. They don't know where he is. He's like, where did he go? He had me and he just vanished. How could he disappear like that? And where did he get the power for this incredible destruction? Then he says to Mera, was anyone killed in the explosion? Oh, how nice of you to think of it. Injured, yes. Killed, no. And he's like, I've never understood why Orm and I don't get along like brothers should, but this makes no sense. He's always hated me since we were kids. Here he had me and then he left and vanished. It's not like him to attack with no motive, leave when he hadn't had the upper hand. And then Arthur finally realises that the city's burning, the city's on fire, and we skip back to Atlantis, and Volko's the king, and the council want to call for war against the surface, and Volko doesn't want to make that choice, but the council are pressuring him to say let's go to war, and the reason for that is there's a where is it? AQUAMAN. There's a seal that is been in the king's guard for centuries and millennia, and it's been stolen. It's like a magical seal, and it's been stolen. And Atlantis and the council think that it was surface people, like Arthur's diplomats and stuff that he knows from the surface. So AQUAMAN gets dragged back to Atlantis. Volko calls him back, and then he gets tangled up in this big octopus here, and he can't work out why his telepathy with sea life isn't stopping the creature from grabbing him. But it's actually a mechanical octopus that Volko's used to sneak AQUAMAN in, and he tells him that this seal has been taken, and Atlantis wants to go to war with the surface world because they think the surface stole this magical seal. And they all think it's AQUAMAN, it's his fault because he changed policies to bring the surface and Atlantis together, whereas for so long Atlantis has stayed hidden and isolated, and then it was AQUAMAN's fault for bringing Atlantis, bringing Atlantis out of hiding. So AQUAMAN, because Atlantis wants AQUAMAN dead for doing this, because they blame him for the seal being taken and they blame him for the troubles from the surface, he has to be in he gets a different outfit to disguise himself as somebody else. So he goes to this other kingdom called Vena Naog. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but they believe that they have they've stolen the seal. So AQUAMAN has to try and sneak in and try and find the king there and talk to him and settle it, because they don't want to go to war with them, and they need to find out where the seal is. So basically that's it. AQUAMAN, he does his telepathy to bring a whale and that in to distract the guards, and he tries to sneak past the guards because where he's got to go, it's like a big boarded wall kingdom that he's got to try and sneak into, and he sneaks past the guards, and they realise what he's done before he can get in there, and they've shot like a laser beam at him and knocked him out, and now he's unconscious in a dungeon, and this is the king of this kingdom that he's trying to get into to find out where the seal is. So it's a good book. I do love the old classic, the old ads and stuff in the books. One thing I find pretty cool is when you get to a page and the next page is an ad, it has a little thing in the bottom here where it says continued on third page after the following. That's pretty cool. But the classic newspaper smell. Good story. I'll definitely have to try and find issue 2, 3 and 4 to keep reading the story. But this is just an old book that I found in a old comic shop somewhere a couple of years ago that I've just never got around to reading. Good story, good art. Still holds up now. It's still better. 1985 story is better than the new Kelly Sue DeConnick Aquaman, that's for sure. So, yeah, that's the video, guys. Just another classic book. We'll try and find more and do reviews. Thanks for watching.